everybody, thanks for tuning in to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, once again, where you can learn classic rock hits on this lovely little 8-stringed instrument. Classic rock hits like that one from Oasis called Wonderwall, back from the 1990s. What a great song, a Brit pop classic for sure, and a wonderful song to play on the mandolin. Sure, the original version is capoed up a couple of frets, Noel Gallagher playing some really interesting chord voicings. We can play something similar here on the mandolin that also works very nicely. It's a really fun song to play on this instrument. But first, before we dive into Oasis and Wonderwall, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already by pressing that little red button down in the lower right corner. It really helps me to keep producing videos for you of classic rock hits for the mandolin. So now let's dive into Oasis and Wonderwall for the mando. As I mentioned, Noel Gallagher uses a lot of unusual voicings when he capos his guitar at the second fret, a lot of sus4 voicings and seventh chord. So I'm going to show you how to play something similar on the mando, including this very first chord, F sharp minor 7th. All right, so that's at the 6th fret of the G string and the 4th fret of the D string, and then the other two strings, the A and the E, I leave open here. So what am I doing there? Well, that F sharp minor chord. Then I go to the standard A chord voicing down here at the 2nd fret of the G string and 2nd fret of the D string. Then I'm using this voicing of an E chord. It's an E sus4 chord, which is the same thing that Noel Gallagher plays on the guitar, but I'm doing it with this voicing here, which is at the 4th fret of the G string and the 2nd fret of the D string. That's your root E note. And then I'm leaving the A and the E open. That A string gives you that 4th, that sus4 of the sus4 chord. Right? Really nice open sounding chord. Then I go down to a B 7th chord here, B 7th, and I leave the E open at the end to give it, again, kind of a sus feeling. All right, so here it is again, the pattern. And what I'm doing there is I'm just giving a nice little strumming. That's the kind of pattern you want to do with this while you're playing those chords. All right, and after you do that, next part goes, it moves up a little bit. So what you're doing there is you're moving from the D chord here at the 2nd fret, the D, then back to that E sus4 chord from the 4th fret of the G string, and then up to the 6th fret of the G string. Catch that F minor 7 once again. So basically you're moving that note as your root and hitting that pattern while you're doing it, while keeping that same strumming going. So what did I do there? Well, after I moved up from the D to the E to the F sharp minor, then I just moved back down from F sharp minor to E sus4. Catch that D note again. It's actually an A, but it's an A root note, but it's a D chord. Is that confusing for you? It's this note at the 2nd fret of the G string, sorry. So I'm just moving this pattern down, and then quickly on the E again to the B7, right? So one more time. Then you just stay on that B7. And the chorus. So that's just a D chord. Back to the F minor 7, F sharp minor 7, to the A chord. F sharp minor 7, A chord. And that's the chorus part. Finally, there's a little lick right at the end of the song that goes like that. While the chorus is... What is that lick? Well, that's just from the D, open D note, down to the C sharp, which is 6th fret of the G string, so, and back to the D, and then A, open A here, to the F sharp, which is 4th fret of the D string. So again, and that was Oasis and Wonderwall for the mandolin. I hope you enjoyed that one. Another fun song to play on this instrument. Once again, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already by hitting that little red button down in the lower right corner of your screen. Also, hit like if you like this video and like this song, and maybe even leave some comments or suggestions about songs that perhaps we can do in the future on RPM. Thanks very much for tuning in to Rock and Pop Mandolin.